Welcome to the Derry Cast, where we discuss all things movies. Let's go straight into the movie news. So last week, while we were filming the last episode, a Pop Crave article was released, and it stated Armie Hammer's former girlfriend says it was like dating a wannabe Hannibal Lecter. His former pillow talk was fantasizing which body parts he would like to eat. We would like to speak about this and also the fact that he like BDSM and stuff like that. Because Armie Hammer is really popular. Everyone thinks he's really attractive, and it's important to talk about like safety and stuff.
Yeah, just because like this article came out and it was just so wild at first and people were making jokes about it, but like what people don't understand is like this is a real man who very much scared real women because of how aggressive his behavior was, and like he would say things like that. He would like literally in the article, like word for word, she was like saying like he wanted to see what she tasted like. And I mean, I've said things like that before as a joke, but I don't know, because this man has like a history of violence and like just being pretty abusive in relationships, so like it's pretty scary. And like he's famous, so you wouldn't think like, oh, this celebrity could do this kind of stuff. But like, who knows if she hadn't spoken up and others hadn't spoken up, and like a few years from now we would hear like he had murdered someone. Yeah, like that's really scary.
And he has 2 children too, so like I mean, like I'm not saying like he's a sexual like predator towards his children or anything, but like
he's still violent. I wouldn't let him near my kids.
And he just filed from divorce from his wife less than a year ago too. Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't read the article fully, so I don't know if it is like if it's former girlfriends during the time that he was married or former girlfriends later in life.
You mean like earlier?
Yeah.
Like before that?
Yeah.
Probably.
Because they've been together for a long time. Also, like, this is like a Ted Bundy situation too. Because like, it could be your neighbor. It could be your celebrity crush. It could be the boy next door. It's fucking creepy as hell.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised because like we live in LA, obviously, and I don't want to be like I know people who know people, but like Hollywood is full of weirdos. Yeah, like straight up weirdos, and I know that for a fact. Like some people, I've heard some crazy stories about people, and people here are whack, or like just crazy, like. Yeah. So that it wasn't surprising, but it is scary to hear, and I mean it was kind of funny, like cannibal, like Yeah. But because it's so absurd, like you can't believe it, but whatever.
Would you like to say the next one?
Yes. So Bong Joon-ho, director of films like Memories of a Murder and 2020's Oscar Best Picture winner Parasite, was announced on Friday to head to the jury of the 2021 and 78th annual Venice Film Festival. Is it June or John?
Joon-ho.
June, okay. Joon-ho will be the first jury head of the South Korean descent. The director stated, Venice International Film Festival carries with it a varied history, and I'm honored to be woven into its beautiful cinematic tradition.
And he's never, been nominated or anything at the Venice Film Festival, so it's pretty important. And then also him being the first of South Korean descent. I think he's actually the first Asian as well.
Wow.
Which is weird. It's been 78 years, Yeah,
because they usually never pick foreign films unless it's like some kind of white European film, like a French film or a Swedish film. Yeah. But not like literally anywhere else.
Yeah. On Tuesday, Netflix released their slate of movies that will be released in February, which is next month or in 2 weeks. Yeah. These films include the third and final To All the Boys I've Loved Before movie entitled To All the Boys Always and Forever, and Oscar contender Malcolm and Marie starring John David Washington and Zendaya. Both of them are getting really high praise for this. I'm so excited. And also it's directed by the dude that directed and created Euphoria.
I've actually seen a lot for that movie, and I actually really want to see it.
Yeah. These 2 movies are out of a list of many that Netflix originals are releasing and just regular films that were not released by Netflix. I think they're trying to compared from January to February, their slate is really big. So it's we know that movie theaters aren't going to open up. You need entertainment at home kind of thing. Do you want to do this one? I don't know why I included.
Do you want to do that one?
Okay. One of my favorite conversationalist movie television shows have started releasing its new season. Variety's magazine Actors on Actors not only released its discussion list on Tuesday, but on Wednesday released the first discussion with Daniel Kaluuya and Tom Holland. I love these men. Discussing their 2021 movie releases, Judah and the Black Messiah, which just got a date on HBO, which is going to be in February, and Cherry, which is going to be released on Apple TV. Is it called Apple TV or like Apple Plus or something?
It's Apple TV.
Okay. They discuss their time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because Daniel Kaluuya was in Black Panther. Hopefully he comes back in Black Panther too. And Tom Holland, of course, is Spider-Man. And among other topics like growing as actors, because Tom Holland in the past like year has been doing really better, like, I mean, more roles outside of playing a fucking teenager as an adult. Usually the show is in like one room, and of course they're always like 6 feet apart too.
Yeah.
But because of the pandemic, the duo virtually introduced were like on Zoom. So let's go straight into our movies recently watched. Tanya, what's your pick?
So I picked A Clockwork Orange. So it was released in 1972, and it was directed by Stanley Kubrick, obviously. And the Google plot summary states, in England of the future, Alex, played by Malcolm McDowell. I was trying to look, did he play one of the Dr. Loomises? Because he was in Halloween.
So.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, because his old face is so, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. And his droogs spend their nights getting high at the Korova Milk Bar before embarking on a little of the old ultra-violence, while jauntily warbling, British people, singing in the rain after he's jailed for bludgeoning the cat lady to death. Alex submits to behavior modification technique to earn his freedom. He's conditioned to arbor violence, returned to the world's defenses. Alex becomes the victim of his prior victims. So, I watched this movie with my boyfriend, and I'm gonna be honest, I kind of knew what it was about. Like, I knew it was about a gang of guys who do drugs and stuff, and I understood that. But for some reason, I thought their whole point of their gang was to, like, clean up the world. Like, I thought they were supposed to be, like, good guys, but they're not. I won't spoil too much, but I did, like I said, so I didn't really know too much going into this, and it was kind of a lot for me.
It's based off a book, too.
Yeah. I probably should have that, but... Trigger warning, it is pretty heavy, and it deals with a lot of stuff, and, like, I wish I had a trigger warning beforehand, because there's a couple scenes that I was like, ooh, that's a bit much. But overall, besides that, it was a really interesting film. It was really long, but if you have the time, and because it was like 2 hours or something like that, it was really long, and it felt like it was longer than that, but like I said, it was good. It was shot well. There were some scenes that were a little weird, but it was good. The cinematography is really good as well.
Yeah.
The soundtrack's good. And besides those scenes and stuff, I actually did like this film. Like, I would recommend anyone who's, like, a film person and likes, like, horror and stuff, I would watch this. It was good. So I can see, now I understand the hype behind it. The only thing I don't get was their stupid little costumes they would wear when they would go do their gang stuff. I thought they were so, like, they wear little bolo hats, and, like, you'd only wear, like, one little strip lash, and I'm like, that's all we're getting. I'm like, I want more of the fits, because, like, there's some other characters that had, like, well, some of them had, like, really good outfits and stuff, so I was expecting, like, I don't know, but
yeah,
it was a good movie.
So my pick of the week is Tiger. It's a 2-part documentary about, of course, Tiger Woods. It's released on HBO Max, and HBO Sports. The first part came out on Sunday, January 10th, and the second part came out on Sunday, January 7th. The first part is about his childhood and the beginning of his career, and the second part is about his public downfall, including infidelity, drug abuse, and then how he's gotten, now he's back in the golf game. So the first part, I was like, oh, this is really interesting. Like, it's all his, like, family, friends, co-workers, like, actual friends, family members, stuff like that. And it says on the bottom, like, oh, this is about blah, blah, like, this is who this person is and this person. And then in the second part, all of it changed to ex-family friend. ex-coworker, ex-friend, ex-family member. Mm-hmm. Because he literally cut all of them out of his life.
Wow.
And also in the first part, his father literally thinks he's a messiah. Literally thought Tiger Woods was a messiah and a god. He literally, as soon as Tiger could walk, he put a golf club in his hand. And I was like, let your kid be a fucking kid.
Yeah.
And I really hope Tiger doesn't do that with his kid. But, like, I've seen videos of him and his son. And his son is just so proud of his dad. And I think that's cute. But at the same time, it's like,
yeah,
please don't think your father is, like, God.
Mm-hmm.
Also, at the end of the first part, I like the first part much better than the second part. Out of nowhere, this girl just sits down in her chair and she's like, are we ready to talk? And I realized it was like the main mistress.
Oh, wow.
And, like, it was crazy. It's a really good documentary. It's very insightful, like, on a person's, like, psyche, how, like, things could change really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how from, like, one moment you can be on top of the world and the next, like,
you're, like,
the most hated. Because I remember as a kid,
I only know him because of his downfalls.
Right? I only know him as the cheating golf guy. Yeah. Literally, as a kid, I remember all I would hear about is Tiger Woods being a cheater, and that's it. And, like, to me, growing up, he was, like, the most evil man alive because he publicly cheated on his wife and stuff. And I was like, and every time, like, even now, when I see Tiger Woods, I'm like, piece of shit. Like, it never goes away.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel bad, like, partially, because, like, I don't think one mistake should define who you are, and especially when it's just, like, you cheated one time, but, like...
He cheated... Yeah. He went to brothels.
Yeah. But then it's, like, a whole different, you know, like, there's a little more to it, you know? But, yeah, that's how... It's literally how I've always known him, as a cheating golf guy. Same. That's it.
So, last week we did our first part of our Tim Burton deep dive. Mm-hmm. This time we're going to do our final part, our part 2. And here's a little recap. We organized the episodes into categories. The first episode was the beginning of his career with short films and feature films, and also his collaborations with Disney. And this episode we will be talking about his collaborations with Johnny Depp, his adaptation work, and his animated work. So let's go straight into
Johnny Depp. So if you don't know, Johnny Depp, he's an actor and a musician, and besides being popular for his Tim Burton collaborations, he's well known for playing Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean.
And being in a fucking Disneyland ride.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was huge. Johnny Depp is one of Tim Burton's acting muses.
Along with Helena Bonham Carter.
Mm-hmm. Or at least was.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
To that collaboration.
I was going to say to that relationship. No, she's still alive. The Queen is still here. The
Queen is still here. Sorry.
As of January 2021, Johnny Depp and Tim Burton have collaborated on 8 films together, including Sweeney Todd, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and the next films we'll be discussing, starting with Edward Scissorhands.
Sorry. The movie was released in 1990. The cast, of course, includes Johnny Depp. It was his first film with Johnny Depp and Tim Burton together. Winona Ryder, Queen, Alan Arkin, and Diane West. It's a fantasy romance. The Google plot summary states a scientist, played by another king, Vincent Price, builds an animated human being, the gentle Edward, played by Johnny Depp. The scientist dies before he can finish assembling Edward, though, leaving the young man with a freakish appearance accentuated by the scissor blades he has instead of hands. Loving suburban saleswoman, Peg, discovers Edward and takes him home, where he falls for Peg's teen daughter, played by Winona Ryder. However, despite his kindness and artistic talent, Edward's hands makes him an outcast. He can't touch her.
Yeah.
Into buzz and audience reactions, Edward Scissorhands eventually grossed $56 million in North America and a further $29 million outside of North America, coming to a worldwide total of $86 million. Rotten Tomato reports that the film holds a 90% approval rating based on 59 reviews, with an average score of 7.67 out of 10. Test screenings for the film were encouraged by 20th Century Fox. Joe Roth, then president of the company, considered marketing and he considered marketing Edward Scissorhands on the scale of an E.T.-sized blockbuster. But Roth decided not to aggressively promote the film in that direction, which I think that would be really weird if it was, like, E.T.-sized promotion.
Yeah, I mean, part of me would have been cool with that, because in that way we would have gotten a lot more Edward Scissorhand, like, merchandise and stuff, but then at the same time, I feel like it would have become like an oversaturated market or something.
Yeah.
It just would have been bad. Really bad.
And it's also part of the American Film Institute's top 10 fantasy films.
Also, I don't think it would have worked. I feel like with that storyline, it's too much of a romance movie almost.
Yeah, like, that's what I feel as well.
I feel like it needs to be more of a children's movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have done that with, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Which they're making another one. They're making a prequel, and Tom Holland or Timothée Chalamet is going to play, like, a smaller version of Willy Wonka.
Oh, like I think I saw that. I forgot. They want someone else to play it, and I liked the tweet, and I totally forgot what it was. It was, like, someone who's, like, way better.
Janelle Monáe
yes!
to play.
Yes, that's who it was. I want her. That'd be way fucking better. Oh, my God.
Okay, back to Edward Scissorhands.
Sorry.
First, the studio wanted Tom Cruise to play Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, in the very beginning. Can you imagine that, Mr. Mission Impossible being Edward Scissorhands? That would have never worked. I actually talked to my dad about that.
Yeah.
He agreed. He's like, yeah, that would have been awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be that person, but, like, he's a little shorter. And Edward Scissorhands, he
has to be tall. He has to be grossly tall. He has to look like Frankenstein.
He has to look like he's like a Frankenstein monster, so he has to be tall. And Johnny Depp's like 6 foot, so it worked and everything. Because honestly, I mean, they probably could have done the whole camera tricks, but I don't know. To see Tom Cruise's face, even him being young, with, like, the paint and the makeup on, and the hair on and everything, that would have been bad.
And also, another thing we talked about in the intro episode of our podcast was that we wanted to go to filming locations and stuff like that, but because of COVID, we can't really do that.
Yeah.
But, we also are big fans of Disney, as you probably could tell, and also Universal. So, besides going to Florida for Disney World and Universal Studios, we would probably go to Florida to see the Boggs family's neighborhood, because it's actually a real place. Yeah. That would be really cool.
It probably looks a lot different now, though, because it's been, like, almost 40 years now.
Really? Oh, gosh.
Wait, right? No. My math is so off. 1990. Never mind. 1990. Oh, my God. I'm so embarrassed.
Oh, my God. Are we 40 years old now?
No. I don't know. I was thinking, I'm like
30? 30 years. Oh my God, 30 years.
They're almost 30. Yeah, wow, wow, we're old. Yeah, because my sister was born in 89 and she's 33, so yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
So how do you feel about this movie?
I love this movie. I've seen it a lot. Like, literally, this is one of the movies I watched religiously as a kid, and, like, my family liked. Quite a few Tim Burton films I grew up watching like that. But this one, too, specifically, we really liked it. My sister really liked it. I remember she even had, like, this Edward Scissorhand costume.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
She got it for free, though, because she worked at Spirit. But, yeah, I really like the film. It's really cute and everything. I remember one time I was watching it with someone, and it was their first time watching it. I think I told you. And, like, halfway through, they fell asleep, and I got really mad, and I was like, you need to get out of my house. I was so offended. I'm like, you need to get out. House. And it was, like, Halloween, too, so it totally fit. I was so offended. I'm like, you need to get the fuck out.
So let's go into adaptation work. Would you like to speak about this?
Yes.
Okay.
So more than 90% of Burton's work has been adaptations. This includes books, TV shows, comic books, and even other movies. Even with Mars Attacks, the plot and characters are based off of trading cards.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I wish people would do that with other trading cards.
Yeah.
Like, remember those, what's it called? Like, they're not Cabbage Patch Kids, but they're the other ones that were like the Garbage Pail Kids. Oh,
yes.
Oh my God, I would love a Garbage Pail Kids movie. Anyways, most of his adaptation work is intermittent or loosely based, which means he usually takes the plot and characters and uses them to his own advantage and not the authors or creators. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that he does that. I love his style and everything, and I love it. I just love it so much.
So the movie number 4 is Sleepy Hollow. It's a film adaptation loosely based on Washington Irving's 1980s 1820s short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which Sleepy Hollow has been been adapted into a bunch of stuff like Ichabod Crane, and like Mr. Toad and stuff for Disney. It was released in 1999, so we were one.
Yeah.
The cast, of course, includes Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci, which we'll talk about that age gap in a little bit, Christopher Walken and Christopher Lee. It's a horror mystery, which I wish that Tim Burton would do more of.
Mm-hmm.
Just the mystery aspect, too. Like, I don't care about horror, but, like, I mean, I do care about horror, but, like, him doing mystery movies, that would be so... Tim Burton version of Knives Out.
Oh my god.
The Google plot summary states, set in 1799, Sleepy Hollow is based on Washington Irving's classic tale, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Faithful to the dreamy, custom-bound world that Irving paints in his story, the film mixes horror, fantasy, and romance, and features an extraordinary cast of characters that dabble in the supernatural.
Sleepy Hollow eventually earned $101 million in domestic gross earnings and $106 million in foreign sales, coming to a worldwide total of $207 million.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Rotten Tomato reports that 69% of critics gave the film a positive review based on 122 reviews, with an average rating of 6.3 out of 10. It won an Oscar for Best Art Direction. The film score was written and produced by another longtime collaborator, Danny Elfman, and it also won the Golden Satellite Award.
For the score, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the third Johnny Depp collaboration. In the early stages of pre-production back in 1993, the film was meant to be more of a straight-up slasher than a murder mystery that we got. Kevin Yeager was initially attached to direct, but fell into creative disagreements with Paramount. I don't know any Kevin Yeager movies off the top of my head, so I'm glad Tim Burton directed this.
Actually, well, Kevin... I may be wrong, but I don't think he does other, like, he's not a director. He usually does animatronics and special effects. I was watching a video about animatronics the other day.
Oh, he did he acted in Trick or Treat. He's directed Hellraiser Bloodline, and that's it. And he did the makeup for A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's what he does. He does makeup, yeah. Yeah, because I watch a lot of amusement park videos, and his name came up, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the same guy. Because I actually tried looking up other stuff that he's done, and there wasn't too much.
Yeah. Oh,
okay. You want me to? I'll keep going. Yeah. Okay, so Christopher Walken accepted the role of the infamous Headless Horseman, and was very much looking forward to working with Tim Burton, again, following Batman Returns, but he didn't actually know how to ride a horse and was afraid to admit it until arriving on set.
That's embarrassing.
I mean, I don't know how to ride a horse, but I imagine it's not too hard. You just don't fall off. just try to hold on and don't piss it off.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I would do.
The film notably features 3 different Sith Lords from Star Wars: Christopher Lee, who was Count Dooku, Ian McDiarmid, was Emperor Palpatine, and Ray Park, played by was Darth Maul. McDiarmid, as well as Park, had just come off the set of Phantom Menace, which was shot mostly in front of blue screens, and remarked how nice it was to walk on a real tangible set. That's so funny. I mean, like, I would be the same way, but, like, now, like, I'm just going to bring up The Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal. But, like, you know, have you seen how they filmed The Mandalorian? So it's literally like a 360 green screen. But they have the set.
Oh, they just have little pieces.
No, like, the whole, like, background is there still. So there's literally technology that you can move it. So, if you want wind, it will blow wind, like, on the screen.
Oh, I see.
And it will work.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. We both like this story very much because it's dark and it's a real odd career choice for Tim Burton. Like, it's odd. Oh, and Ichabod too.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Yeah, because normally he doesn't go into this kind of genre, and I wish he'd do more horror films, like actual horror films. This one is pretty close, and I really like that. I also like we said, Ichabod's career choice in this. Like, it's not just like he's an investigator and that's it. He also does like autopsies, and like he really like gets into it. Like it's more realistic and more like, because that's really how it was back then, you know, and like the way they look at him as like a weirdo and stuff for wanting to be into science and stuff. Totally accurate. I love that. I love it. There's a weird age gap between Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci's characters.
I mean, she was in Casper like maybe like a year or two before.
I mean, it's one thing to have the actors play different ages, but I mean, like, this time, like...
They were their ages.
Oh, no. I mean, like, even in real life, if they're different ages, but I mean, even, like, characters are supposed to have an age gap. Like, he's an adult with a job, and she's, like, 14.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get it for their time, it makes sense, but it's just weird to see.
And then we also said Christopher Walken being cast throws you off.
Yeah, Christopher Walken, because to me, at least, maybe I haven't seen him in too much serious stuff, but, like, I usually see him in, like, comedies. So to see him playing a villain in a horror film, it was just kind of, like, odd for me, but...
all the people in the town are very weird.
Oh, the townies? Yeah, they look at Ichabod funny, but they're all pretty weird in their own weird way.
The score isn't like Danny Elfman's usual stuff either.
It's
really cool.
It's more like
classical.
Yeah, it's more just like the classical genre. Like
it meets the it matches
the
time.
Film.
Yeah, the time. It's very gory.
Yes.
And it has lots of practical effects.
Yeah, and I love that.
Which we like because in Alice in Wonderland there was like
90% CGI and CGI isn't supposed to make the film, it's supposed to enhance the film. Yeah.
So, we're going to go into animated work. As we said previously, Burton's first love within film is animation. He got his professional start at Disney Studios being an assistant. From 1971 to 1983, he solely worked in the animated film field. He continues to dive into fully animated films every once in a while, but each of his live-action films seem to have a part of animation embedded into them. Besides his animated work and background with Disney Studios, Burton also worked with Warner Brothers Animation Studios on Corpse Bride, which is one of my favorite movies. On my 16th birthday, I dressed up as Emily.
Yeah.
Because I'm Emily. It was released in 2005. Helena Bonham Carter, Johnny Depp, Emily Watson, and Richard E. Grant, he got his due, baby, Oscar-nominated actor. Finally. He's done so much work, and then he was just, like, not recognized until, like, 2 years ago. So, of course, it's animation and it's fantasy. Would you like to do the Google plot summary?
Mm-hmm. The plot states, Victor, played by Johnny Depp, and Victoria, played by Emily Watson, families have arranged their marriage. Though they like each other, Victor is nervous about the ceremony. While he's in a forest practicing his lines for the wedding, a tree branch becomes a hand that drags him to the land of the dead. It belongs to Emily, who was murdered after eloping with her love and wants to marry Victor. Victor must get back above ground before Victoria marries the villainous Barkus Bittern.
That's the weirdest name.
Played by Richard E. Grant. So, Corpse Bride grossed $53 million in North America and $63 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $117 million.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
We say that a lot. It's because we're broke.
We're poor, so like we'll never see that amount of money.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes reported an 84% approval rating with an average rating of 7.24 out of 10 based on 196 reviews.
That's like the highest like approval rating that he has.
Yeah. Well, so far, I think.
Yeah.
The film was nominated for the 78th Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, but lost to Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
That's okay. I've seen that film in Italian. I've seen that film in like different languages. I fucking love Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, I love Wallace and Gromit. So it's understandable.
Yeah.
The American Film Institute nominated for this film for its top 10 animated film list.
So, despite what countless fans believe, Henry Selick, not Tim Burton, directed The Nightmare Before Christmas, meaning that Tim Burton and The Corpse Bride was in fact the first theatrically released movie that Burton directed. He would do it 7 years later with Frankenweenie. We love Frankenweenie. We love the short film and the animated film, the animated feature film.
It makes me cry every time.
Yes, I love it.
I hate to admit it. The last time I watched it with Christian, I was trying so hard not to look at him so he wouldn't see me cry. I was like, don't look at me!
I was watching Ozark, and the guy who plays, is it Victor? Yeah, the guy who plays Victor, voices Victor, he's in the show, and every single time I hear his voice, I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna cry! The film took a total of 55 weeks to shoot due to the stop-motion animation. This, however, was a huge improvement and advancement in technology, as The Nightmare Before Christmas took a whopping 3 years to film.
And you can see that difference.
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas was very much, you can tell, stop motion. The other one, it could be either or stop motion or like just straight up animated. And I mean, it's obvious because the times that were, the different times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think like a decade later.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Every decade we see different technology, everything.
Advancements.
Yeah. The premise was based on a Jewish folktale. I did not know that. It originated in the 16th century Russia. I think that's really interesting.
Well, I didn't know that it had an actual like folklore background. I thought it was just more like just someone.
Yeah, like he picked it out. Like
like a corpse bride story. Like I wouldn't picture that to be a children's story.
Yeah.
However, knowing like the Grimm brothers stories, that does make a lot of sense.
Each puppet was roughly 11 inches tall and made of stainless steel frame coated in silicone, which you could see videos of them making them.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot. Yeah. That's a whole foot of a doll right there.
And then Warner Brothers actually has the dolls in their studio, so you could go to like the Warner Brothers Museum and see that, which I think is really cool. And composer Danny Elfman was reportedly left quite hoarse from the straining of singing as Bojangles. Which, I mean, it's way different from him singing in, like, Oingo Boingo or, like, singing for The Nightmare Before Christmas and stuff like that.
Because that character's voice is very, very different.
Yeah.
So, I can see that.
So, how do you feel? We got our first director episodes done.
I mean, I'm sad and happy at the same time just because it's Tim Burton,
Yeah.
and I'm happy we did it.
Him.
I was gonna say, I'm happy we did it, but I'm sad we did it already.
Yeah.
But this was fun.
Yeah. So, similar questions from last week. What is your favorite Tim Burton film? What do you want to see from him next?
Who is your favorite Tim Burton collaborator? Which director would you like to see us deep dive into the career next? Let us know. Sorry. Let us know your answers to the questions below on this YouTube page or on our Instagram page, the Derry Cast. Thanks you for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening.
So in case I don't see you, good afternoon,
good evening,
and good night.
Thank you.